Has the movie Scarface ruined the hip-hop culture? This is a topic we're going to talk about on today's commentary. Now, before I start, I want to make sure that you have all liked and subscribed, and be sure you comment after this video. Now, with all that said, let's get right down to business. All right, not too long ago, I was watching Choke No Joke's video, and he was interviewing Cavaro, who some of us know is one of the people behind the Don Diva magazine. He's on IG under the name Mind Plug, and he's also been doing interviews for DJ Vlad. And occasionally, you can also find him on Al Prophet's channel and some other places. But anyway, the whole gist of the discussion was they were talking about the movie Scarface and how it may have been detrimental to the hip-hop culture. Now, growing up, I really didn't understand why rappers pretty much gravitated towards Scarface. But as years went by, it made sense as to why they did. And it really just didn't have to do with, the violence and all that other stuff. I think it was because Scarface was an underdog. He was an underdog that came from nothing and made something out of himself. Unfortunately, the way Scarface went about it was pretty much all screwed up, twisted, and distorted, but he still made something out of himself nonetheless. Should you emulate your life after Scarface? I would take the positives of that character, Tony Montana. Now, Tony Montana, in spite the fact that he was a bit of a hothead, and in spite the fact that he was a little bit stubborn, and he gravitated towards the drug business, the thing I would take away from that was his work ethic. Now, Tony Montana, he had a very tremendous work ethic. You know, when he came to this country, which on the Manuel boat lift from Cuba, he had this vision that he wanted to rule the world and everything in it. And that was the goal. And that was pretty much that was pretty much evident during that scene when they were working, when him and his boy Manny Ray were working as dishwashers at some little food joint and everything. That was pretty much evident that he really didn't want to do that. I mean, he had the foresight to look for opportunities and keep his eye open for opportunities. He had the foresight to be on his ear hustling game and be like, look, you know something, we're going to get this money, where his man really just didn't have that. So Tony was a little bit about that. I mean, he was a soldier back where he was from and whatnot in Cuba. But when he came here, he adapted. His businessman and hustler instincts kicked in, and he worked his grind, and he became a very powerful and money-hungry drug lord, bloodthirsty drug lord at that. But the thing is, with some of the people that are in hip-hop, I think they take the violent aspects of that and want to model their life based on that. And you shouldn't really, because what happens to people that dabble in drugs? They either wind up meeting a horrible, unfortunate demise, they end up getting locked up, or they end up becoming addicted to their own supply at some point. And you clearly don't want that because that's not the business here. So for my folks in the hip hop culture, I would say that the only thing you should model yourself as far as Scarface goes is the work ethic of a Tony Montana. The work ethic and the hustle mentality. Those are the only things you should really model yourself and take away from that movie. The drug stuff and the bloodthirstiness and the violence, that you shouldn't do. Now, I noticed growing up with, as far as the movie Scarface goes, there were many rappers who sampled that movie. I mean, Raekwon the Chef sampled that. Public Enemy, to a point, they sampled that. Ice Cube sampled it. Heck, even the guy whose real name is Brad Jordan, he took the rap name Scarface, or Mr. Scarface, as a tribute to that movie. So you have examples at how influential Scarface was on the hip-hop culture. And there was talk of doing a special edition of Scarface, but it was going to include rap songs, and fortunately the people behind that film said no. I'm happy that they did, because the Scarface movie is a period piece movie. It takes place in the decadent 80s, and in the 80s, and talking from experience, during that period, new wave music was in vogue at that time. So I think they should keep that in there to represent that time in the 80s, because rap music pretty much was an underground phenomenon then. It was just relegated to college radio, community radio, and bootleg cassette tapes. So, but anyway, I rambled on long enough. So, audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.